Hello, my lovely Year 5 artists. This is our second lesson in our project on Change the World. We're going to be making protest placards today in the style of Bob and Roberta Smith. We need a piece of white card and we need some white scrap paper as well. The white card is going to be used for the final piece, and the scrap paper, and I literally got this wrinkled up bit of paper, so just use something that's scrap in your classroom that's been written on. We're going to use this to work out ideas. I need a pencil or a pen. You need some marker pens. You'll need a stick because we're going to turn it into a placard. You'll need a ruler and you'll need some sellotape. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out my ideas. In our last lesson, we made our protest portfolio and you mind mapped the things that worry you and concern you and the things that you want to change. So we're going to work that out on our rough piece of paper. We're going to take our ideas and begin to turn our ideas into words and into a placard. So I've drawn out the shape of my placard here, and now I'm going to write some ideas down. I want to do something on racism. It's something that's very important to me. You can do something on the environment, on something on poverty, whatever worries you, whatever you want to change. So I'm coming up with different slogans. That's different ways of saying something important that we want to change. So I'm going to say, I think I like that, racism not welcome here, because I often say about refugees welcome here, and I think we should have racism not welcome here. Now I'm going to show you how to lay this out. This is how sign writers create signs. It makes sure that you're not going to spill over the edge. You're going to be able to fit everything in how you like it. Now I've got 4 words, so I'm going to do 4 lines. If you have little words like a or two, you can add those onto one line. It doesn't have to be a word per line, but that's how I'm doing it. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to split my placard in half. And then I'm going to split it again because I want to split it roughly so there are 4 lines. And it is rough, so don't worry, you don't have to use rulers and things. I'm just dotting it out. And now I'm going to count up my letters because this is going to tell me where I need to put my letters. And my first word is racism. It has 6 letters. Okay, so I'm going to count those, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. So I know the middle of that word is between the C and the I. So I know that my middle line needs to come between the C and the I. So let's have a look. I'm actually going to start with the I first. You start with this side. So the I, S and M on that side of the line, my 3 letters there. And then I go to the other side and I start it at the edge. This means I'm going to definitely fit it in. R, A and C. Now, do you see I fitted that on, nothing spilling over the edge? That's a really good tip. So let's look at the next word, not, which has 3 letters. So my middle is the letter O. So I'm going to put my O on the line. Then I'm going to put my T, and then I'm going to put the N. Yeah, and then I'm going to do our welcome. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters in that word. So 1, 2, 3. My C is going to be my middle letter. So my C is going to go on my middle line. Just going to put that on there. Now it's a longer word. It's got 4 letters either side, so it's a longer word. So I'm going to need to squeeze those letters a little bit tighter together. Can you see what I mean? A bit closer together. A bit less spread out than the I, S and the M. And then I'm going to put my well here. I'm going to start with a capital. Oh, I quite like the idea of using capitals, so I'm going to go back and change that. And that's the good thing. This is all rough, it's fine. So I'm going to put the E and the L in. And then I'm going to put in my last word. So I'm making sure it's all fitting in. I've got the word here, which is 4 letters. So the middle is going to be between the E and the first R there. Here, and I'm going to do a capital again to make it look good. Now I'm actually changing my mind again because I think it would be good to have an exclamation mark on the end of the here. Now this makes it that there's 5 letters, or 5 letters and 1 little bit of grammar there. So I'm going to move this over a bit. So I'm just going to extend my picture here and just switch it over so the R is the middle point, because I now have 5, so the R is now moving over, and that means I can definitely still fit everything in. Get rid of that, and that's the point of doing it in rough first, working it all out. So once you've done this, you're ready to actually make your piece. So we're taking inspiration for our protest placard from Bob and Roberta Smith, and we want to get this amazing style. Your lines don't have to be straight. You could put words on a diagonal if you like this, where the human rights is sort of making a triangular shape. You can have bigger letters and smaller letters jumbled together. Whatever you do, you want lots of colour and big, bold words. Okay, so let's get going. We've got our piece of card. I'm going to use a ruler to find the middle of my piece of card now. This is A4 paper, which is 21 centimetres across. So if I put a line at 10.5 centimetres or 10.5 centimetres, I know that that works. Then I'm going to divide it up again. So I've got my 4 lines, and I can begin to start sketching out my words. And I've decided actually I'm going to do a mixture here of some capitals and some lowercase, and I'm going to have some of the words letters big and some of the letters small, just to make it more interesting. So I'm using my line to make sure that I'm fitting everything in, my midpoint where I've already counted out my letters, and there we go. Now we need to add colour, and colour is what Bob and Roberta Smith's work is all about, as well as that message. So I've got these really bright, nice marker pens to use, and you can start colouring those in. I've chosen 3 colours because I think that will look good, and I've chosen colours that I think will make each other stand out. You just choose whatever you like, but you start off with doing the letters. So I'm just going to go, I think, just in the centre of each of my letters, and then I'm going to put another colour on the outside of them. I think that will look quite interesting, and just build it up. Can you see what I'm doing there? And I'm using the fact that I've got the white to almost make a third colour there with the pink, green and white. It sort of really highlights it. And I'm changing my rules. Did you see that? I used pink in the middle of some of the words and green in the middle of others. So play around with it. Go wild. And then I'm blocking in the background. So Bob and Roberta Smith always has lots of colour in the background. I've not given you white card, so you can use a boring white background. You've got to find ways of colouring that in. It could be patterns, or it could be blocks of colour. Whatever you do, it's to make the words stand out. The words are what's important. Now we're going to turn it into a placard. You just need some tape and some sticks. I think I've put you in some kebab skewers to use on yours, so you can just use those. Just glue it down. You want a piece at the bottom, which is the bit you hold on to, and then the rest you want supporting your placard. Then what I want you to do is I want you to do some selfies with you and your placard. Take some pictures, you as the artist saying what you want to say. I've done some different versions here to give you some different ideas, making things stand out. Then I want you to do some posing with your placards. And when you've done your posing, you're going to add it to your portfolio. So open up your portfolio, and on one side, making sure the placard doesn't go over the fold, you're going to attach it, and that can either be with double-sided tape or a stapler, just stapling it into places, and that's your first piece of artwork to go into your portfolio itself. Brilliant there. I'm really looking forward to seeing your Bob and Roberta Smith inspired placards. See what it is that you want to protest about.